'Cause we love our love in different sizes. I love her body, especially the lies. Time take its toll, but not on the eyes. Promise me this, take me tonight.
Hello and welcome to this week's Perfect 10 show. I'm back after a week off and we are here to chat about what's trending in sport and of course give you the chance to win £10,000. Come on.
Lovely.
On today's panel, Harris, welcome to the show. What were you up to at Saturday around 3 p.m. this weekend as a huge Man United fan?
I was waiting for this. Well, we had free tickets to the box at the Etihad, so like any self-respecting person, I thought I had to attend, you know, just to get the free booze and alcohol.
Did you enjoy
it?
it?
I know you're going to give me shit for it, but I equate it to like watching Nickelback in the MN Arena in a box. I'm not there for Nickelback, I'm there for the drinks, so that's my defence.
The best team in London all the world.
You were good, I've got to give you that. You did play well. I mean, I was shocked at all the empty seats, so I don't know what that was about. I just thought I'd mention that.
Pete, what did you think of Harris's antics and could we ever catch you in a box at Old Trafford?
I'd rather shit in my hands and clap.
For a free beer, you'd do anything.
Listen, right, no, there's certain boundaries.
You'd wear a United shirt.
I would not. There's certain boundaries that I've been brought up on. You don't cross them. I'd only ever go into Old Trafford if I was in the away end. That's that.
We'll see that. We'll test it one day.
That's that. We've also got Paul. Paul, welcome to the show. What have you been up to?
Visited Eagle Point for Blackburn Leeds. Good game. Very good game. Two good sides.
Good atmosphere from the away end?
No, they were particularly quiet, to be honest. They were a good atmosphere all round, but they weren't as noisy as I expected them to be, put it that way.
And our special guest for today, of course, is the Twitter King. I think we've used that intro quite a few times already this show, but we'll use it anyway. Massive Wigan fan, of course, as you can see from the shirt on the table. It's George Weahs Cousin on Twitter, also known as Luke Royal. Welcome, Luke. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Not bad.
It's all right. It's all right. No problem at all. Of course, in honour of Luke being here, we're giving away this Wigan shirt, which is it's all right, isn't it? What do we make of the blue and green?
Shite.
I think Pete's got a bit of a grudge against Wigan. No idea why that is. All you have to do to be in a chance of winning this shirt is comment down below the answer to this question, which is who did Wigan beat in the 5th round of the FA Cup last season? Is it A, Man City, or B, Man United? I wonder what the answer is to that one. So comment in the comments down below and we'll give that shirt away at the end of the show. Right, let's get into the icebreakers. The icebreakers. Got that out. Liam, sorry, let me do that again. I called you Liam. Right, let's get into the icebreakers. Luke, let's get to know you a little bit more. You've got a drink there, a beer. I think you've had 2 actually, haven't you?
Yeah, making my way through.
So, in exchange for those beers, could you give us your best drunken story?
So it's more of a hungover story. So about...
We'll allow it.
Yeah. I mean, most of my drunken stories are just being too drunk, getting ferried home in a taxi, just the normal kind of thing. So, yeah, I used to work at Old Trafford, I used to do stadium tours. So I did it for about 3 years. And I used to do it the weekends quite a lot. And I went out on a Friday once, but I just went for a few. And it was just a few, so I've had probably about 4 or 5 pints. And I was drinking Star of Ramen, don't know if you've ever had it. It's one of those, I think percent-wise, it's about 5%, so it's not...
But you have a few and it can
Yeah,
just knock
it's
you
one of them,
silly,
yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
a bit like Stella in terms you have a few and yeah, you feel it anyway. Went home at about 11 o'clock, fine. Woke up the next day and it was literally the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. And I was working at 9 the next day. And yeah, when we used to do the stadium tours at Old Trafford, we did both dressing rooms as part of it. And I was sick in both dressing rooms. So there can't be many people who've been sick in both dressing rooms at Old Trafford. Obviously didn't do it in front of anyone. Kept the noise to a minimum, but yeah, that was an interesting day.
That's a hell of a story.
Good effort. You might be the only person to have done that.
Yeah.
Carlos Tevez, maybe? Ooh. Controversial. Harris, have you been on the Old Trafford tour? It's the closest you've
I did go when I was a kid and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was excellent. Yeah.
Great reviews.
From Wales.
Yeah. Great reviews, right. We've also got the wheel of Misfortune here. It's a fine wheel, isn't it, gentlemen?
It's incredible.
If we could get you to spin this, we've got a whole lot of categories on there. Advice, biggest vice, things like that. And if you could just...
see which one I want to aim for.
Which one are you looking to avoid?
Oh,
Last gig.
Oh, this is probably the worst one you could have done.
Not a music fan then.
I am a music fan like everyone, but I think I've been to 2 gigs in my life.
It can't be as bad as mine.
One was the Streets, which would be, yeah, it was good actually. That was 10 years ago. And about 6 months later, I went to watch the Twang.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they were quite good actually. So yeah, that was the last gig I went to. But
You
yeah,
said something like aqua.
That's fine. That's a perfectly acceptable
Simon, what are
answer.
your gigs now that you brought it up?
Well, I've been to see Boyzone. I've been to see Girls Aloud, supported by the Saturdays, which was actually before they were famous. So I was about third from the front. It was pretty awesome. And who else? I've been to see S Club 3 and 3 members of 5.
You really are a joke of this.
It's called 3.
The blonde Joe blew a kiss at me. It was, Is she a I'm not sure about that, Harris. Right, let's move on from my music taste because won't get much worse. Let's get to know George Weahs Cousin and a bit about how that started. So, where did that name come from?
it's a weird one really because I obviously used to do the fake quotes and stuff like that, and people think the name came from, he was a fake footballer. I do fake quotes, but I'm not that sort of clever. It definitely wasn't that. No, it was just I had a couple of tweets that went viral, and they went on sort of websites and stuff like the Mirror, the Mail, and they sort of embed your tweet and your names on it. And I thought I'm not massively keen on my name being on the Daily Mirror's website and a picture of me, so I thought I'll change my username. And I was applying for jobs at the time as well, so it was the old: do I lock my account or do I just make myself anonymous so that potential employers can't see me? And I don't know. I quite like the story.
It's a great story.
And I think I'd seen something on TV about it the day before. Might have been like the anniversary of it, so yeah, it just sort of happened upon that.
Stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck. Yeah.
It's one of Southampton's finer players, I think. He could probably get to their team.
There with Matt Letizia.
Yeah, of course. He actually got subbed off, didn't he?
I think he did. He was only on for about 13 minutes or so.
So what's the highlight of your Twitter career? Harris needs a few tips on good tweet. So do you have a best tweet or something that you're really proud of?
Best one was probably when Celtic didn't get knocked out. They lost, I think, the first leg to a team from Gibraltar. And because he used to
Was
do
that the Lincoln Reading?
It was, yeah. I think it was 1-0. And he used to do the photoshops, and I photoshopped sort of, when Sky Sports do the profiles, the fact files. I photoshopped one of them and just changed the facts on it. So the facts were stuff like when they were founded, and I changed them all to things like they can't play on Tuesdays because the pitch is used by metal detecting stuff, things like that. And when I used to do the photoshops, it used to be trying to sort of have a bit of a laugh and trick people on Twitter, not actually Sky Sports. And Sky Sports the next day, it was Mike Wedderburn, bless him, read them out on air, sorry. And they had, I can't remember who it was one of the ex-Celtic players who they'd basically got in to kind of discuss the game, and he's reading them out to this Celtic player, and you can see he's looking at him thinking, this is definitely not true. And people were tweeting him obviously straight away saying, I don't know where you've got that from, it's all bollocks basically. And but they had it on the loop at Sky for like half an hour, just the same thing till about mid-afternoon.
That is
constantly going
outstanding.
over it, yeah.
That really is outstanding. Let's move on to Wigan, obviously one of your first loves. Where did your support of Wigan start, and what was your first memories of them?
Pretty much just because I'm from Wigan, but so my dad took me along when I was probably about 5 or 6, and just ever since really. I mean, when I started supporting them, we'd have been in the old Division 2. And I couldn't tell you my first game was, but the first one I sort of remember was the 96-97 season. We played Mansfield, we won 2-0, and that was the game that got us promoted to League One as it is now. And I think we went up with Fulham that year actually.
Supporting your local team's good, isn't it, Harris?
Does you being a Latic make you an anti-Warrior?
Do you know what? It's quite weird because 99% of Warriors and Latics fans they hate the other side.
That's right, yeah.
I don't necessarily like Warriors, but I don't have the hatred that a lot of them
What
have.
is the thing between Latics and Warriors?
For a lot of the likes, and especially sort of the era before me, if you like, the Wigan owner at the time, Warriors, Maurice Lindsay, basically would quite happily see the football team go out of business. So there's a bit of resentment there, which I get. I like rugby league as a sport, so I don't mind them, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. And I do get a bit annoyed when people call it rugby town, which people do on purpose now. So.
It's because it is.
I've got a lot of stats I can read out if you want.
What do we think? Obviously, Wigan have got one of the most famous players in the Football League in Will Grigg. What do you think of that Will Grigg start? And when it first came out, what was it like?
To be fair, the first memory I have it was we played Shrewsbury away. would be 2016, and we won 5-1. He scored a hat trick, and that was the first time I heard it at a Wigan game. We definitely weren't the first club to adopt it.
I think it was Newcastle.
Yeah, I think it was Metro on fire.
See, Newcastle fans say it. Stevenage fans said they had it for Luke Freeman.
So I thought it came from that guy on Twitter with the video, you know, that slams eggs on his head.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he invented it. Good shout out.
But they do still sing it occasionally. To be fair, not tends to be when he scores now. Whereas a couple of years ago, it was literally just constant. Yeah, they actually played the "Free From Desire" song, all the Tano and stuff. But yeah, it was a good one. I got got on the back of it and did, you know, like the videos people were doing and used like Barney the dinosaur dancing to it and that kind of thing. So yeah,
I actually made one for the Sportsman, which we did it to the Friends thing, and then they put it out when Will Griggs scored against City.
It was brilliant. That was one of your best tweets, wasn't it?
Everyone has one moment.
Worst moment ever. Literally. My best moment and my biggest regret.
Yeah. The people that wrote that song must have just been rolling in royalties. They were absolutely living it, weren't they? When that song went mad.
Right, it's a dance hit.
Yeah.
You've heard it about 4 a.m, haven't you? A few times.
I can't believe that song now is just ruined.
Garland.
Yeah, Garland, that's it.
They were playing it throughout. They were playing it throughout Euro 2016 because obviously he was in the Northern Ireland squad. He didn't play mini. He didn't come on the pitch at any point.
They just go mental during the game. So
Like all the other fans that were living it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Northern Irish adopted it, didn't they? With Euros.
Yeah, and then
Euros,
the English and
everyone jumps on
naturalised.
the back of it, don't they?
Dave Whelan is obviously a man who's synonymous with Wigan, I think. Bit of a legend. Grandad, I think you've got a bit of a story about him.
Hey, Dave, you know, Dave Whelan used to play for Blackburn back in the day. And broke his leg in cup final.
He didn't. He's not actually mentioned that, has he?
The Dave Whelan.
And my wife felt sorry for him and she took a shine to him and I found pictures of him under his bed. In Blackburn shirt and nothing else. Spam javelin. Clear to see.
I don't know where to go from there. Where do we go from there? Right, oh, bloody hell. Right, Luke. Luke, what is your one definitive best moment as a Wigan fan?
Well, obviously, I think the FA Cup final has to be up there. But I think what came from that was we qualified for Europe through that, and we played Zulte Waregem from Belgium.
What a team.
And because their ground was so small, they had to play their European games in Bruges. So we went over there. There was sort of about 3,000-4,000 of us, and it was just surreal being in such a beautiful city with 3,000 absolute idiots, you know, just in a nice way, on 8% beer. We just like drunk for 2 days. Consistent. It was the worst game I've ever been to in my life. It was 0-0.
Nothing better than Europe.
Chucked it down. Oh yeah, and that's the thing because we'll never do that again probably. So that was, you know, probably my best memory.
Celtic and Feyenoord, 2 Blackburn ones, good ones.
Yeah, Anton was good, man.
Feyenoord and Celtic, brilliant days.
And on the back of that FA Cup thing, we've got a bit of a debate that we want to open up to the rest of the panel. Personally, would you swap winning the FA Cup to still be in the Premier League?
No, I genuinely haven't heard one, because this debate comes up quite a lot, because I remember they were talking about it on the radio, I've seen it on Sky, through various other clubs. You know, sort of the clubs you've got in the Premier League now, like your Bournemouths, your Watfords, who probably aren't going to go down, but aren't actually going to. And when they get to the FA Cup, they seem to stick reserve sides, and I never really get that, because
Newcastle.
It's winning a trophy.
Especially Team West Ham, you know, again.
What are they aiming
not
I think
won
what he
anything
could
for
do for the
years,
fans more than anything. You get a
You're
good
going to
cup
talk
run.
about an FA Cup win for decades, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, no one cares if you go up and down.
And I don't know one Wigan fan who'd swap it. Not one.
Plus, the games you get to go to in the Championship and League One aren't, like the Premier League isn't the be-all and end-all of football. There's some decent games in
I think
Championship.
the Premier League's great, but if you know, you can be one of those top 6, and then you've got your likes of Everton who are sort of trying to get in there, but for the rest of them, we were there for 9 years, and the novelty wears off once you've been to Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, once you've done all that, and then you're paying 60 quid to go and watch yourselves get beat 5-0. It's not really that much fun. And if we went up now, we'd be a Cardiff with even less money. Do you know what I mean? So we would never be able to.
I think the Championship is good in a way that it's got the prize of the Premier League, but the league's so much more competitive. And as Blackburn fan, you know that.
Yeah, I've said this before about when we got dropped out of Premier League. I won't say happy about it, but it got to a point with Rovers because we were down there every year that you were going to home games against Stoke saying you'd take a point, and you should never go home to, no disrespect to Stoke, but you know, go at home against Stoke and want to take a point, you should want all 3 against them. Because I know we would in this league now. If we were playing them this Saturday, I'd want all 3 points. So yeah, like you said, novelty wears off at Premier League. You're last on match at day every week. If you're down there, you get about 3 minutes, and that, you know what I mean. That's it. It's just But Championship, I don't know. I'm enjoying Championship.
No, it's a good league. You never know what you're going to do. You know, it is literally a league where anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
So many teams in
and
the
quality.
as well, yeah. As you mentioned there, the Premier League, there's about half the teams in the Championship now been in the Premier League in recent years. You've got Norwich and Swansea and Villa, of course, new manager.
Look at the teams that have come up from the Championship. Well, not as much Fulham and Cardiff, but let's say like Wolves. Obviously, they spend a lot of money, but you know, some of the football that they've played, and they've.
So it used to be a case of the 3 that went up came straight back down every time.
Whereas
now
you don't see that.
But there's only teams in the Championship that you say better than some of the ones in the bottom 3 in the Premiership now. Like their standards like that, it's mental. Like they're so conditioned to like playing that every single week as well. It's mad.
For sure. Let's move on to the other top trends. On Sunday, Lewis Hamilton, if you're interested, failed to claim his 5th World Championship, but I thought I'd open this up to debate. He's probably going to win it next week. Is there a more hated sportsman right at the very top of his game? Pete, do you want to kick us off here?
No, that might be because I genuinely think he's just a massive prick.
He's not likeable.
He's not. He's obviously there's a thing. If you're at the top of your game, you have to be arrogant and all that. But he strikes me as just somebody who's just a tosser, basically. I think if you met him, he'd be a tosser. I think he comes across as a tosser on telly. So.
See this, you know.
Oh, Lewis, you're a tosser, mate. Sort it out.
What annoys me about him is that the media seem to have this thing about how much Premier League footballers earn, but he earns about 650 grand a week, which is way in excess of anything any footballer earns at the moment.
I think you can think of him in terms of like Neymar, can't you? Because again, they're a mega money and they just don't endear themselves to anybody. Like the way they conduct themselves is just not. There's no like love there, is there, between them and fans? They're just literally in it just to accumulate as much cash as they can, basically. So,
Luke?
Not a big fan of him, but I'm not a big fan of Formula One in general.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think he's. I just think I'd find his company quite boring, which you know, I might be wrong, but yeah.
He'd just be able to talk about his car,
Are there any boxers or UFC fighters that you think are just not got much of a personality? They're usually quite good in combat sports in having a bit of a interest or a personality.
They've got it, haven't they?
Vladimir Klitschko was pretty cold, wasn't he?
Just wooden,
yeah.
Yeah, just not. No, they weren't much to him. But no, like you say, I think Lewis Hamilton is up there, probably the worst one. But I don't know if you watched the F1 at weekend and the guy making meow noises throughout the commentary. Did you hear him when they were going meow?
He sounds like
I know you could hear him meow meow.
Harris, I didn't realise you got to America this weekend.
Me on, I just went for it.
Brilliant.
On to Conor McGregor. He went to watch the Katie Taylor fight this week. I don't know if any of you saw this. Let's hear from Conor. How did she get on?
Katie Taylor looked a very good prospect, and I have noticed that she is winning title after title, something that I no longer can do. So it's very happy for me to say that our Irish chick is winning the fight. So,
do you think you're going to get that rematch that you so desire?
I don't know. You know, I think he has Khabib lined up for Tony Ferguson next time. But I will get my chance at Khabib, and I will roll him up like the little kebab he is. So. Trust me on that.
Brilliant. Harris, over to you now. We're running a little Sportsman referendum, Manchester referendum. So let's talk about Man United. I know you're bursting to. So could you tell us a bit about what it is and what we're trying to do?
Basically, we've come up with the idea of just giving the people of Manchester a chance to express their views on whether he should remain or leave. And we think personally as a United fan, I think there is a massive vocal minority on Twitter that every single bad result, you just get all these fans laying into and saying, Mourinho's got to go, Mourinho's got to go. And that's why I think this is such a good idea, because it gives people a chance, people on the street, your everyday person, just to say, do you know what, actually, I think he should stay or I should leave. And then there's no hyperboil involved in it, it's just, what it should be. And that's what we tried to do. We just tried to sort of step up polling station and just get your everyday person's view on it. So,
Harris, can I ask, are you in favour of Mourinho to stay or leave? Because I know the other week, I think it was the game before Newcastle, your words were, him and Pogba can I don't care.
Oh, that is not my words.
They were the words in the office. There were witnesses.
I think I said it on this show, so there is video evidence. But I said it looked like the situation was just totally, irreversible. I think when we were 2-0 down against Newcastle watching that half, it just looked absolutely shambolic, like what was going on. I didn't see us coming back in that match. But I think that 3-2, no one had expected it, and everyone just thought the players were down tools not play for it. And in the Premier League, you've got to do that to get back in the match. So for me, that does point out that he needs to stay. I think he's still one of the top 3 managers in the world. I don't think you can just get rid of him like that. Like, who's going to come in? And there's other issues at United, we all know that.
What do we make of his passion at the end of the Chelsea game?
Totally justified in my eyes.
I do actually. I think the Chelsea coach was out of order, but you know, I've seen Mourinho do worse on the touchline, so don't think he should be giving it large. He's one of them, isn't he? He's like, oh, you know, hold me back.
Big man.
Pussy yo!
Luke, what are we making of Mourinho at the moment?
It's a difficult one because I actually said the other day to someone that I think he's not the solution to United's problem, but I don't necessarily think firing him is either. Only because I don't think there's anybody out there at the minute that you'd say, other than maybe Zidane, you know, he'd been improving. But personally, I don't see it working under him. I think there's too much there that just doesn't fit. I don't think he fits United. I don't think the players fit Mourinho. I don't think Mourinho fits the players. And there's just too much there for me that doesn't.
It's a big week. Like, this week's going to be big, you know. It's almost every game for him now is like, as soon as he gets a bad result, you can see that all the negativity is going to come back. And that's my only concern with it, is like, yeah, we played really well against Chelsea and we were so unlucky not to win, I think. But if we go play Everton in a week's time, whatever, and lose that, well, however many games, you just know it's all going to come back again on him.
The thing for me is I know a lot of United fans, and what I often say to them, especially at the minute, is, you know, I think it's 7 points off 5th?
Yeah, 9.
That's the big 5. And you look at all them, so Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, they're all doing better, but they all play much better football. And it's probably coming from someone who doesn't support a team that's playing for silver wherever he is, so I look at football a bit differently. But, you know, if I'm paying 40, 50 quid a ticket or whatever it is, I at least want to be entertained. And I think if he's not entertaining, he's not getting points, you know,
I think there has been a conscious effort, like even in the Tottenham game we lost 3-0, I think he was trying to improve the style.
Yeah.
I just don't think he had at that point quite grasped how to go about it in an effective way. I think the Chelsea second half was really impressive for me, because I think we were playing well. I think we looked good to watch, which is, I haven't said that in a big game for a while.
Yeah,
was stopped, told to track back, he was allowed to go forward, and he ended up scoring 2 goals. And I think that's these little tweaks like that can really make a big difference.
The problem is with that is, this is like me trying not to be biased, but it seems that United only come out to play in the second half once they're losing. Whereas if they came out and did it for the whole game, then there wouldn't really be an issue if you weren't getting the results. But it's just like, if you go 1-0 ahead, then that's it. You won't go for more. You just seem to be there. Like, all right, okay, yeah, we'll take the win.
I mean, dropping back with the referendum, I thought it was really interesting. We've been monitoring on the site. If you go to the website and look at the poll, you could see a massive swing in the votes just after the Chelsea game. Like beforehand, I think it was 65% of United fans were saying out on the website. We've had a flood of votes after that game, and now we're on about, I think it's 52 in favour of him staying, like in real life. So it's
been there before.
Right, yeah, exactly. So flashbacks. But I think it's literally every game now is just like, people's opinions just flip like that. There's no consistency in it.
That's modern day football at the same time, though, isn't it?
It's, at the moment, him and his situation, it's so fickle. And I think that we were talking about the incident at Chelsea, I think that was just pure frustration from him. You know, someone's just gone like that in his face. He's under so much pressure, and I don't think you can have a go.
So before we get everyone's vote round the table, I think we'd like to hear Jamie Carragher's analysis of that situation at full time.
First of all, you know, to play, the coach shouldn't even be on the pitch. He's not even allowed in the coaching area, so what is he doing there? Anyone else, if we were fans, would have been thrown out of the ground. Now, Mourinho's had a lot of shit in the last few days. The last thing he needs is this mush screaming in his face. I'll just slap the head off him, so.
Very good, very good. Harris, get those notepads out, and we'll do a little vote and put it in the ballot box.
There you go, Pete. I know you're dying to vote.
Yes, I am.
So, Harris, I think we know how you're going to vote. If you could just give it to us in a sentence why you're going to vote the way you're going to vote.
I think at the end of the day, he's still one of the top 3 managers in the world. I think he wasn't backed by the board, and I think if he gets the defender in January, we'll see an improvement in the overall style of the team.
So you're voting to remain. Pete, how are you voting?
I am voting to remain.
And why?
Well, because Simon, my dear friend, Jose Mourinho has turned Manchester United into a laughingstock, in my opinion, and I'm enjoying every second of it while I can. No, they're going on about how much of an improvement they had. They got a win against Newcastle and they drew against Chelsea, and they're up to the dizzying heights in the Premier League of 10th.
Put your
So
paper in the ballot
there we
box.
go. That's why Jose Mourinho, 5-year contract, and then hopefully we'll see Manchester United Football Club liquidate.
Luke, how are you voting rather and what?
I'm going leave on the basis of long term. I don't think it fits, and I think his main issue seems to be I haven't had this amount of money for. He wanted to spend 75 million on Maguire. Don't think he'd have made that much of a difference, and I think transfers like Fred this summer again, 50 odd million, and he's not playing. And
The question is that from Mourinho to buy those people? That's the big
yeah, there is a debate, especially with players like Sanchez and Pogba.
Lindelof,
They buy them, but
the more marketable ones. I think,
Yeah.
is the one.
But yeah, I think long term, I just don't think they fit.
So if you could mark your paper and pop it in the ballot box.
You've got a pen, Simon. That's not like
Oh, sorry. We'll move on.
I'm going remain. I don't think there's, like you said, who else is out there. I think the talk of Zidane maybe coming in. It's a big gamble. It's just a name for me. Real Madrid have come out this week and, well, whether it's a rumour or what, they want him. So that's got to tell you something on it. I think there's time in it. It's still very early in the season, so I think remain.
Remain. So that's 3 for Remain. And I am going to agree with Luke and I'm going to say leave. I just don't think it's going to work out. I think I completely agree with you. I think I actually quite like Jose Mourinho as a manager elsewhere, but I don't think it's quite worked out. I genuinely think if Zidane was in charge of that team and those talent, they'd be scoring so many more goals and playing such a lot better football.
I don't get the idea of, as a United fan, I don't get the idea of.
Thank you.
So his tactics, where sometimes it's quite negative. If I had those defenders that you've got, and half of them are
Shit.
idiots, basically.
Yeah.
I don't get why he invites pressure onto them. Do you know what I mean? Like why he parks the bus when you've got Smalling,
Well, the
Jones.
West Ham game,
I
like,
don't
he was
get
asking to show them up to show that you're proving a point, like you
Yeah.
should want me a defender. So there's the argument for
Yeah.
that.
Right, if you
Harris has gone for leave.
If you want your say in the Manchester referendum, go on the sportsman.com/Manchester referendum and you can have your vote. It's pretty close at the moment,
Well,
Harris.
yeah, it closes on Sunday night, so I think the Everton game we played that day, see what happens. I think it could literally go either way. 52-48 again.
It's going to be very close. The link in the description if you want to vote directly. Right, let's move on to the predictions. And there's some big news this week, guys. Harris has got his first point. He's off the mark.
I am very proud.
Derby beat Sheffield United. Harris said it. Congrats, 1 point on the board.
How does it feel to not be a failure?
It's just good to finally get that first point, and I think every week now I'll get it right every single time. So.
Right, well, let's see if that's true. Pete, you've also got a chance to leapfrog Anton and
Yes.
go top of
Well,
the league. So this
I've
is
missed
big
a
one.
few shows this year, so I'm still working my way back into the fold. I'll be there at the end of the season.
Right, this weekend's game is Spurs v Man City. So, Pete, I think I know which way you're going to go. Monday Night Football should be a cracker. Harris, if you could kick us off, if you're so confident, what's going to happen?
No, in fairness, I think it's going to be a really close match. I know Spurs were terrible at home to City last season, but I think 1-1 draw. I'm going to go with it.
1-1 draw, Pete.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to say Spurs are absolutely shambolic for making us play in on a Monday. Didn't refund at Wembley, not playing at their own stadium. Didn't refund any of our supporters for a ticket on the Sunday or any of the travel. Disgraceful. On that last season, we absolutely shagged them. We're going to do it again this year. 4-1 to City. Up the Blues. Go on, lads.
And Luke, what do you make of that?
I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think Spurs are quietly doing very well at the minute, but I think with Liverpool and Chelsea both still being unbeaten, I think that actually helps City in a way. I think they're probably a bit more on the ball and
Pushes them
yeah,
on
I
a
can't
bit.
see them.
And we've got De Bruyne back now.
Yeah.
Which is a massive thing.
Another City win. Paul, you in agreement?
City, yeah, 2-0. Can't see any other result, to be honest. I just think City are on fire at the minute. Fire on all cylinders, got goals in them. Good at back. 2-0.
Simon?
Yeah, I think City are going to win this one about, I'll go 3-0 City. I just think for me, there's a top three in the Premier League now. In Chelsea, Liverpool, City. City are probably the top of them. And then there's a 3 or a 2 underneath at the moment in Tottenham and
Arsenal
Arsenal.
are pushing on.
And then
Well, you're in.
And then there's a 4, which is like Everton, Watford, Leicester, and Wolves. And then there's a 10th. Then there's a 10th, which is the famous Man United.
we've not played City Liverpool yet. You know, we'll have that in the next 2 months. We'll see what happens.
Well, none of us are backing a Spurs win there, even though they're at home and playing pretty well. We've all gone City apart from Harris, who's gone for a draw, and we'll catch up with that next week. Pete, you're in the spotlight and you want to introduce your little section.
Oh, it's my tweet of the week, isn't it? Can we roll the jingle, please? It's Pete's tweet of the week. Right, so my first tweet is actually an Instagram post of the week. Oh. It comes from our resident, Simon Lillycrap, Huddersfield's top shogger. Some of these, he's been celebrating a lovely time. 4 years with a lovely Tash. Hiya, Tash. Some of the pictures, I've got them on my phone here. Huddersfield's top shogger there. She's just in complete awe. That one's a favourite of mine. There we go. It's a great one. Victoria Weah.
Yeah, follow me, Simon Lillycrap.
Simon Lillycrap on Instagram. But no, in all seriousness, my tweet of the week, it was a Bristol City fan, I think. And they were at Brentford, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, they had a lucky mascot. They obviously won. They should be doing this every week. They brought a dead pigeon into the terraces.
Well, if it's lucky.
Not sure why. I'm hoping he washed his hands after. But yeah.
Pete, I've got a few ethical questions on this one. Did they kill the pigeon to take it to the ground, or did they find the dead pigeon?
I'm going to go with they killed it.
Oh, right, okay.
No, it was a sacrifice. You know, they prayed.
How do you catch a pigeon to kill it?
Right, have you ever watched Devo?
No.
No, right. Watch Devo, you'll find out how to get a pigeon.
Oh, great.
We don't advocate the killing of pigeons here.
I think Pete does.
Yeah.
Pete definitely does. Harris, what's the weirdest thing you've seen inside a football ground?
I think the weirdest
Have you ever been inside a football ground?
Not
Well, he's
personally,
been to a box at
the weirdest
Sicily.
thing I've
He
seen
went on the
is
tour.
I think that when that Barca fan took in that pig's head to Luis Figo, that's a lot of hatred there. Do you know what I mean? That means business.
I'd also like to call out that City fan who went to the game with the VR headset. Don't ever go to a football game again, lad. F***ing embarrassing.
Game's gone.
Game is gone.
He's not here.
He's not here. Rest. There we go. Rest in peace. He's not dead.
Paul, anything you've seen at Ewa Park? Don't mention the chicken.
Yeah, he's got to mention
It's got to be the chicken. It's got to be the only chicken. The chicken and being, people struggling to catch the thing as well. It took ages to get it off the pitch.
Ali Al-Habsi going after the chicken.
I swear you mention that every show.
Anton normally does, doesn't
Yeah.
he? But I'm sat in his seat, so why not?
Anything you've seen at Wigan that can match that?
It's got to be the chicken. I was out that day, and it was a Monday night. I remember it. It was 8 o'clock kick-off, Monday night football. We've been out all day, and when you see a chicken on the pitch and you've had a few, and it's wearing Blackburn colours as well, which is, and I think it was Yakubu and Al Absi were. That was Malky Mackay after the incidents. To see him managing wing was a bit weird. But,
He's a very odd character. Not been seen in a while, has he, Malky Mackay? Bit of a dodgy guy.
A mank at Old Trafford would be a bit odd, wouldn't it?
You paid him to say that.
Right, Harris, you're back in the spotlight again. You're getting a lot of focus this week.
I know.
He's red in the face.
I know.
He's dyed his beard this week.
Yeah,
as well. Just in case you didn't know, normally Harris has a very ginger
They're back
tinge
at
to
the
it.
She's looking absolute
On
filth.
Saturday,
Anyway,
I
where
believe
were
it
we
was.
starting?
He went out.
You went home at lunchtime, one lunch last week, and dyed your beard.
I can't agree to deny that. My lawyers will be in touch.
You've gone for the goth look.
goth
Jet black.
I can't help having exquisite facial hair.
Right, Harris, how did you get on in the draft this week? I heard you're moving up in the table.
Well, phenomenally, I lost. Surprise. But however, I moved off the foot of the table on points scored, which is phenomenal.
Who did you move above?
Steve.
Oh,
If Steve is watching, you are pretty shit. So yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
coming
pleased.
from him as well.
Any tips? Who's your fantasy football pick for this
Now,
week?
I already know the amount of groans this is going to get.
Is it Callum Wilson again?
No.
Glenn
Worse
Murray.
for you guys. My pick this week is
Josh King.
Anthony Martial.
Oh.
Now, at 7.3
stinky.
million, he may seem pricey, but in his last 3 shots, he scored 2 goals. And I think the penny's really dropped for him now. And
Did
I
you
think-
research that yourself?
I did. And I think this season, from now on, he's going to push on. Sanchez and Mourinho falling out. Martial's going to stay in the team, and it's going to be big stuff from him. You heard it here first.
That was bold, wasn't it?
It's taken the life out of the show.
That really has. Luke, have you got a fantasy football team? How are you getting on?
my problem is I think I'm 6th at the minute out of about 25, but I forget a lot. So like this week I had Captain Lukaku when United played Newcastle. I thought they need a win, he needs a goal, he's going to get a couple. And yeah, he was still my captain when they played Chelsea at the weekend, so I still had Mane in it as well. So I'm doing all right, but I just need to stay on top of it and yeah.
Keep it out. Actual life and doing it.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
Says the man who's on it 24/7 in the office.
And still can't buy a win. Paul, apparently you've got a pretty popular league. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yep, there's 86 people in our league. All paid 20 quid.
Jackpot.
I think that.
They're getting nothing
I can't
back
even
in
do
the
that.
end.
1,720 quid in there.
That's a
but
nice
it's
little
normally-
holiday.
It's normally do a manager at month, 50 quid first, 30 quid for second, and then at the end, like winner normally take 400 or 500 quid, and then there's a second, third, and fourth.
Very
I'm
good.
currently third/4th. Can't remember. I didn't look after Lacazette played last night, but I know he didn't do shit, so I'm probably fourth.
Is Anton in that league? How's he getting on?
I think he's in the lowerly parts of that league. Yeah.
Right, let's finish with the perfect 10. Of course, you can win £10,000. Click the link in the comments below and have a go playing the game. Luke, you're in the spotlight. We've got some good fixtures this week. Let's just go through them. You can say who you think's going to win. Let's kick off with Brighton v Wolves. A draw now on the fence.
Yeah.
Fulham, who got humped by Cardiff, didn't they? They're playing Bournemouth at home.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Oh, this is a terrible game. Rip up your ticket if you go into this. Southampton v Newcastle.
Drab.
Draw. He loves that fence. Oof.
There's just so many teams there that, I just look and think 0-0.
Bolton v Hull. Ooh.
Another glamour fixture.
Drab. Jesus.
That's the worst championship game you could have picked.
Gonna go bowling.
Bolton home win. Bristol City v Stoke. That'll be a bit of a better game, I think.
Stoke.
Norwich v Brentford. Two teams fighting at the top.
We played Brentford a few weeks ago, and I said after they could have beat us 10-0. Literally, was that dominant. I said
Just lost the manager though.
and then they've not won for 7 games since. So I'll go Norwich.
Norwich home win.
Shout.
Coventry v Doncaster. Made it into the perfect 10.
Coventry fan. Be careful what you say.
Doncaster all right at the minute, though, aren't they?
I mean, they're all right.
Gonna
Yeah.
go draw again.
I'll take a point, to be fair. Or a bit of a derby here. Fleetwood v Blackpool. A Fylde Coast derby. Fleetwood win. Oxford v Shrewsbury. Oxford, and we'll finish up with Rochdale v Charlton. Charlton away win. That was Luke's perfect 10. We'll catch up and see how you did on the leaderboard. I believe the top score so far is 5?
Is that it?
Or 6?
There's a few people who would have got 5, I think.
We'll get the leaderboard up. It's 6. We'll get the leaderboard up. You can have a look at that.
From the club.
Ryan from the club, the golf expert,
golf
winning the
expert.
football competition. So, Pete, can you reveal which team Wigan knocked out of the FA Cup? Knocked out of the FA Cup 5th round last year.
City.
It's 1-0 Wigan. Will Grigg up the ticks. Come on.
And
If you
I
comment-
resign from the Perfect 10 show. I've had enough.
If you comment in Man City, we'll pick a winner and you can win this Wigan show. Show? Oh, I've really that in there now. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe below and ding that notification bell to get our latest uploads into your inbox.